And biostimulants are either organisms, living organisms, or they could be non-living component biostimulants, like, for example, humic substances, right? And either the biological living organism or the non-biological humic substance or other kind of biostimulant, they will trigger physiology in the plant. They will trigger increased growth in the plant. Typically, it's a temporary effect. You know, they get it. They start biostimulants work early on, and then plants get going, and then it peters out, stops. The difference is if it's a product like humic substance, or if it's if it's organisms that have been killed, right? You basically, these are a little different in that you put them on and they're going to last as long as they're there. So you could apply them to soils, apply them to plants, really, because the plants are what responds to those compounds. And so long as the compound or substance is there, the plant will respond to them. But the difference with a living organism is that, and some living organisms work better than others in the sense that when you put them down, they'll give a kickstart, but they'll last a little bit longer because the plant will actually cultivate them. If, for example, they're bacteria, the plant will cultivate the bacterium around the root tip and take them in, and that will stimulate growth for a period of time. Now, likely they'll be replaced by native microbes when the natives are there. They'll come in and they'll essentially outcompete what you put in. With the algae, the EnSoil product, one difference is it's an alga. And really you have, with the EnSoil product, you have the algal cell itself, which is, can do photosynthesis, can get sunlight, can produce its own food, so it can withstand, right? It can stay there. But these algae actually have bacteria inside them. And when the plant absorbs them, the bacteria inside them leave the alga and go into the plant.
That's incredible. That's just crazy.
Okay, so in the EnSoil product, because of the way it works, should be a more stable product than many other in terms of the durability in the field, and compared to some other biostimulants. I'm actually advocating for biological agriculture and basically regenerative agriculture, right? And tools like the EnSoil algal product would enable, or will enable, growers to begin to build up their soils, because they can survive in soils. They can grow in the soils and build up microbial titer and so forth in the soil. So it's an excellent way to start building soil health, right? And eventually, we won't need all the chemistry. You know, once the soils are healthy and we have good microbes in plants, and we're using tools, biological tools like the EnSoil product and other biostimulants, we won't have as serious issues with human health and agrochemicals in the environment. But people like Dan have to really pioneer how to do this. And you know, no one like a lab scientist like me is going to be able to help actually render this down to practice, right? That has to be done by courageous growers like Dan.